Okay, what's up, guys? It's Holiday from Console Kings, one half of Console Kings, here today with a tutorial on City Skylines Xbox One version. I'm pretty sure what we'll show you today you can also use on any other version. I'm not too sure if it's out for anything other than PC, but we're going to show you how to play it on the Xbox One so you can start building the city and not have to go through long drawn out help content or pull your hair out and just get frustrated and give up on the game. So I'm gonna go new game, and today I'm gonna be using a map called Grand River. Techniques I'm gonna show you today is specifically for Grand River. You can use these techniques on other maps, but depending on what map you choose will depend on what techniques you use because different maps have different terrains, different attributes, things like that, different elements as far as weather, so forth and so on. So I'm going to choose Grand River. I'm not going to change the name. I'm going to leave unlimited money unchecked. It sounds cool to have unlimited money, but when you choose unlimited money, you're choosing to deactivate the achievements. So if you want your achievements, I would leave that unmarked. Okay, so I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and click start. Go ahead and click start. And just wait for it to load up. Come on, little birdie, you can do it. Load up. Okay, so now we're in our world, we're in our map, and we're getting a little hello message. And basically what this message is saying is that, hey, you need to start by building roads and zoning those areas that you build the roads in. I'm going to click B to close out. You can see that this is our area. Everything inside the broken square is where you can build. Right trigger zooms in, left trigger zooms out, and like any first-person shooter, your thumbsticks either turns your camera or moves you back and forward. So the first thing we want to do is we want to build roads. Right now we have two main highways coming into our city on both sides. I'm just going to start on this side for right now and worry about this side. And as you know, I progress through the game and make more money, then I'll build a second half of the city on this side. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. Down here at the bottom I have my main menu. If I use my D-pad left and right, I can scroll through that menu. I'm going to select the second option, which is roads, and then I'm going to choose the first option, which is 2-lane road. These other options are grayed out, so don't bother with those. Those will unlock as you progress through the game, start to make money, get more citizens, things like that. So I'm going to press A to select roads. What it's going to do is the game's going to turn my cursor to blue. I'm going to highlight one of the highways. I'm going to highlight the one coming into the city. And then I'm going to drag out a road or street. Once I'm done or reached a certain length that I want my street or road, I'll hit A again. It'll drop the pavement. So there we go. If I want to continue to add to that particular road, I'll select roads again, highlight the end point, hit A, and then just continue to drag out. Okay, so I'm going to drag this out. Try this over here for kicks. See, once you actually start continuing to drag out roads, the game kind of remembers that, hey, this person may actually be, connecting different roads for quite a while or using this option and doesn't want to constantly have to keep going back and pressing A, connecting to an end, so it'll just allow you to continue. don't want to continue, just hit B and it cancels it out. Go over to the other side and do the same thing. This one I'm going to drag a little bit closer to the shoreline towards the water. Okay. I got my roads. What I recommend is that once you have your two roads, that you somehow connect those two. I'm going to connect mine with a diamond. So that basically, if you think about it, you have incoming traffic, goes here, maybe they can go around and go back out. You know, just kind of think about the flow of traffic. It really helps if you think about how you want to design your city. But after you design your first city, then you'll come up with different ideas on, man, I can do this, or man, I should try that. And you can really get creative and do some cool stuff. Okay, so I have my roads. I'm good on that. Now I just need to zone. And basically what zoning does is that you're saying, hey, in this particular area, you can build these certain type of buildings. So you're saying, in this area here, I can build homes, apartments, living quarters. In this other area on this side, I can build only factories and industrial type of buildings. So you have a number of different options, but those are the two that we're going to do today. So the first thing I'm going to do is down in my main menu, using the D-pad, I'm going to select the zoning option. It's the third option over. I'm going to choose the first green option, which is low density residential zoning, which is basically subdivisions and homes, residential areas. I'm going to highlight the grid next to the street and hit A, and I'm just zoning. These are the areas that I'm saying homes can be built in. Once I'm done, I'll hit B. So I've zoned that area, and what will happen now is, now that this area is zoned residential, after a few minutes you'll start to see homes being built and different things popping up. I think right now that's a street light, so you'll start to see things shortly. So while that's in place and being built, I'm going to go ahead and zone some more areas. This time I'm going to choose the industrial zone. But for my industrial zone, I'm going to go all the way to the other side of the map, close to the water, and start zoning here. I would recommend you keep your industrial zone away from your residential zone, because no one likes to live next to a factory in life, and in this game they're not going to want to live next to a factory. So definitely keep it away. Also, when you're using the Grand River map, make sure that you zone your industrial area near the river. You'll see why that's important once we start running water pipes and adding electricity. Those two things. Okay, so I'm done zoning the residential area. Not residential, but the industrial area. I'm going to hit B to back out to my main menu. And now I'm just going to go back over here to the residential area to see what's going on, and I can see that things are being built. So if you want, you can kind of just sit here and watch the buildings being built right in front of your eyes if you want to. It's pretty cool to sit here and watch some of this stuff. But we have some things that we need to pay attention to, because now that the residential area is being built, I'm getting these different icons above the homes. So you have two icons right now. One is a water drop looking icon, and the other is an electricity looking bolt, or a thunderbolt. So basically what that's saying is that we have a home, but hey, we don't have water and we don't have electricity. So in order to fix this, what we need to do is we need to provide these homes with water and electricity. I'm going to go back over to my industrial zone, and I'm going to create a coal power plant so that we can start generating electricity. So in my main menu, I'm going to scroll over to the electricity icon or the thunderbolt, hit A. Ignore these other options and just go ahead and choose the coal power plant. And then I'm going to place the coal power plant right here on the edge, water side. Okay, so there's my coal power plant. When you're starting off, don't worry about spending money. Definitely get the necessities, but don't worry about spending money and saving money when you first start, because there's certain things you have to get in order to get up and running. So I have my coal power plant that's building electricity or creating electricity. Now what I need to do is I need to get that electricity from the coal power plant all the way over here to the residence. So to do that, I'm going to use a power line, which is the first option. There's some other options like wind turbine, and these others will unlock later. I would say stick to the power line for now, and then once you get experience at it, you can start playing around with wind turbines and things like that. So I'm going to select the power line, hit A. And what you want to do is make sure that you drop your first power line somewhere in this blue shaded area. That means that this blue shaded area means that anything in this area is given power by the coal plant. So I'm going to place it right here. And then just like the roads, you can drag out to extend the power line. What I typically do is just kind of follow the street that I've already created. Dragging out. Once I want to stop, I'm hitting A. If you're playing on PlayStation, it's probably circle, I believe it is. Yeah, I believe it's circle. So I'm going to continue to drag and drop. All the way to my residential area. Just for kicks, I'm going to go across. And come back down. And I'm going to stop right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to hit B to back out. And I have my power lines ran. Now you'll see that this last power line has a icon above it which looks like something being unplugged, a circuit or a electrical cord being unplugged. There's no connection. Basically what that's saying is that this power tower or this power line is not connected to another power line. To get rid of that icon, just select your power line, hit A, scroll over to the nearest power line and hit A again. However, what you have to do is you have to keep in mind is when you drag out your power lines, gives you a display of where that power line is going to be. And if you have a power tower in the middle of the street like I have now, it's going to give you a red color to say, hey, there's a problem. So I'm going to go this way for a little bit with my power line. I'll stretch it across here. Now you can connect anywhere you like, but you'll see that that icon is now gone. You don't get that power cord looking icon. Okay, so I'm hit B to back out. You can see that it's nighttime. That's pretty cool. Now we have another issue. The other issue is that water. They have electricity, but these people don't have water. You can see that the lights are, the street lights are on. So I'm just gonna zoom out. Hit B to back out to my main menu. Scroll over to the water and sewage icon, hit A. And what I need to do is I now need to install a water pumping station. Scroll over to water pumping station, hit A, and it's going to give me a water pumping station. What I recommend that you do is, of course, you need to place the water pumping station next to the water, because you're going to be pumping water. I recommend that you put this as close to the coal plant as you can, because the water pumping station needs electricity as well. If you put it close to the coal plant, then you won't have to run any power lines to it, because it'll receive electricity from the coal plant. Place it here. Hit B to back out. Now I have my water pumping station. So right away you can see on my water pumping station, I'm getting an icon that kind of looks like a pipe, or the pipes you would see in Mario Brothers or something like that. So I need to add a pipe from the water pumping station and run those pipes to all the areas that need water. So one is going to be this residential area that needs water, and then it looks like there's some areas on the way to the residential area that needs water. I'll just hit B and close out to my main menu. Go to water sewage. Scroll over to the water pipe, hit A. And it's going to change my icon to green. Make sure that you select the water pumping station, or start with the first pipe right on the water pumping station. Hit A, and I'm going to drag out my water pipes. So this is similar to how you drug out the streets and roads. And what I do is I simply try to follow the roads with my water pipes. I'm going to zoom out a bit, and I just follow the roads with my water pipes. You don't really have to worry about these being in the way, because your water pipes are underground, so you won't see the water pipes unless you're trying to edit the water pipes or something like that. But once you back out and you're just viewing your city, you will not see the water pipes. I'm going to run the water pipes all the way down to my residential area. Now as you're dragging your water pipes, you're going to see a blue shaded area around the pipes. That's just basically saying anything in this area is covered by this water pipe. So anything in this area is going to receive water from these water pipes. Place my last water pipe there, hit B and back out. And if it was successful, shortly you'll start to see the icons for water being needed disappear. Okay, cool. So we got rid of the water issue. I'm getting the notification at the top. You can read the notifications if you like. I'm just going to hit B and close out of it. Okay. So we got rid of the water issue. Now we have a new icon, and that icon is basically the sewage icon, saying that hey, you have water, but you don't have a pipe that's for sewage. Okay, so for sewage, you want to go back to the water and sewage icon. You want to scroll over to the fourth option, which is the water drain pipe. Select the water drain pipe, and I typically put my water drain pipe right next to the water pumping station. I'll hit A to place it. Putting it next to the water pumping station should automatically give it electricity. And then the only thing you will have to do is you would have to run a pipe from the sewage or the water drain pipe to the residential areas or the areas that need it. So you'll select your water pipe just as you did with the water pumping station. Make sure that your first pipe is directly on the back of the sewage pipe, or we'll just call it sewage pipe. and you'll drag out. But this time, instead of dragging all the way out down the street and over to the residential areas, what you can do is, because these are also pipes, you can just tie in the pipes that you've already built. So I'm going to tie in right here, place it right on top of the other pipes, hit A, and then hit B to back out. So my tie-in to those other pipes should be created, and you should start to see those icons slowly disappear. Okay, there's a couple disappearing, there's a couple. Sometimes it takes a while for them to disappear. You'll notice that with this game is that it's not that the game's broken or anything, but if you're running water pipes, it's probably going to take a few days or a little while for people to start to see results from whatever you just fixed. Okay, so it looks like I'm already getting the congratulations on my population reaching 340, and it hasn't even been 20 minutes yet. So I'm going to back out. But basically that is it to get you started on building your city. I don't want to give you too many tutorials or too much information, because if I do, that kind of takes away from the fun of the game. Basically what makes this game fun is that once you start building your city, you start experimenting with different options that's available, trying different things, and just being creative. So with that, I'll leave you to Cities Skylines, Xbox One Edition, or whatever console you're playing on. Once again, it's Holiday from Console Kings. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments, and we'll answer them as we can. All right, I'm out.